And following a small emergency session, the three bearded blokes from Manchester are back. Ahead of schedule! What's going on?
Also, Liam, you're not even bearded anymore. What's going on here?
That is true. I've gone like pre-pubescent. I was like, was like, should I do your beard? I was like, you know what? You can, because I cannot be arsed.
You do look about 30 years younger, which, considering you're not even 30 yet, says a lot.
You cheeky fuck.
And we're back. Hello, everybody. Yes, so we have got a slight change of schedule, purely in the basis that I think it's fair to say a lot of shit's happened in the last few days.
Yeah, of all the dry spell that we went through in the last couple of weeks, God, it's all happened now.
I mean, we were expecting to have to wait until the 2nd to get our banned and restricted announcement, banned and suspended for all the pedants out there. And that came early. Then we...
Out of the blue as well, just dropped on us one random morning.
Yeah, I just woke up to, oh shit, this is here. And then, I guess it was some stuff about the new set. I don't think anyone's too hyped about it.
I mean, this set's a bit of a write-off, isn't it? It's not like we're getting any good new classes or talents. I'm sure Liam will agree.
You guys are fucking unbelievable.
But we'll come to that. And I think in a shocking twist, I think there's so much hype at the moment that we're not even vexed at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone's got anything to be vexed about.
I think we're just all very happy. So let's start at the top. Banned and suspended. Obviously, the people in Madrid and Taiwan let us down, and Starvo didn't win the Battle Hardens. Did win the call-in though, following Chain cheating. Lol.
He did, but he just fell short. And like you say, I mean, someone could have took one for the team, surely.
I know.
Apparently not.
Or because all the Starvos were still playing in the call-in, they didn't have to. There weren't enough of them there to the odd prisoner get there. So I think that's why obviously they brought the announcement forward, that they realised he couldn't.
Yeah, it does seem like that's the reason. Well, one of the reasons behind it. Now we know it definitely can't. It can't happen. I mean, it's great of them to bring it forward as well, right? I mean, a lot of the community was
100%.
quite rightly complaining that they weren't going to have a lot of time for the Pro Tour, and LSS have listened, which is nice, and brought it forward.
And even just to do it is a bit like we said at the time, they could have just announced what the bans would have been.
Yeah.
And then say these come into effect on this date. They still come into effect on the 2nd. But
yeah, exactly. That's worth noting. Actually, is that obviously that they're not in effect yet. So don't be moaning at somebody in your local armory for playing Skeletor or Autumn's Touch.
Liam, you could have played Oldhim today as a last hurrah.
Oh yeah, that would have been something.
Your last Autumn's Touch.
I mean, you'd probably still be playing now, but I mean.
You'd still be on round 1, mate.
Yeah, because I was giving Ash round 1, we'd have been there for days. I'm so glad I had to fatigue that guy. Jesus.
Fatigue chain.
It would have been a long time fatiguing him as well with how he thinks shackles work.
50 minutes in, it's still 40-40. Oh, God.
No, gents.
We love
decorum. We do.
We do.
The deadly mango, the bench lover, would never. Mr. Hotel Chocolat would not succumb to such.
A man with so many nicknames,
isn't he just?
Anyway, we did get some suspensions, all of them until certain heroes LL out of the game. So, as we mentioned, Autumn's Touch got touched.
Sag. Absolute Sag.
Go on, then.
The thing is, right, it wasn't even that pivotal to Starvo. I think they've looked and gone, Starvo's playing this many Autumn's Touches. This is like the card that's presented most in the deck. We'll take that away from him and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
because it makes sense. Like Awakening makes sense, which we'll probably come to.
Yeah.
But why not just take something else away from him? Why does it have to be Autumn's Touch? Why does Oldhim have to suffer for Starvo's crimes against Fab?
I don't think you can say that when George is around, because
I was just going to say, come on. I mean, because SSS would never do that. They'd never take away someone else's toys.
Ball Lightning is a good card. It's a broken card, and you fucking know it. That's why you didn't want it to have it banned, because it's fucking busted in your busted ass deck. So stop complaining about a busted card being busted. I lost Autumn's Touch, which is a blue block 3.
Liam, stop making Brooks a liar. He said no one was vexed today.
I'm not even vexed. I'm only vexed because you're
vexed.
Lightning is broken.
I'm not even vexed. It's just because you go, I love Paul Lightning. Yeah, it's a fucking broken card. So shove it. Anyway,
So,
you can have an opinion on stuff if you want.
Thanks for that early vexing malice after we said we weren't going to have
That's
one.
fucking George, that.
But I don't know how to follow that up. Oh dear. Well, I mean, for me, it felt like Autumn's touch. I mean, Awakening was a good call. They shouldn't have had a catch-up mechanic that good. It meant you couldn't go aggro, because if you get too far ahead, you're just going to get pulverized for free. And then Autumn's touch, for me, it feels like, what could we hit that takes it shows that we've done something, because he runs 6 off, but isn't enough to take enough of the power level off that he's going to struggle to LL out by the next announcement.
It doesn't do anything, I don't think, in my opinion. You just play Earth Block 2s and don't care.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't exactly blocking already, so.
Yeah, for the aggressive style though, I don't think that they didn't care. It was nice to have the 3 blocks. You started with those in the deck, but I don't think that it kills the archetype because you don't have them anymore.
Yeah, you just run Break Ground and Evergreen.
Yeah, their ability to block was never the great issue with them. They weren't fatiguing people. It was the aggressive ability of them, and that doesn't change for this. As we were just saying, then Awakening, great band choice, but yeah, I don't think this massively impacts them at all.
Again, another card that's fair in Oldham, which is stupid in Starvo because Starvo's stupid design.
Yeah, but nothing's fair in Oldham because it takes that long to actually get played.
No, oh my god. It's never even the Oldham's fault. It's the opponent that can't decide whether or not how impactful one Frostbite is.
This is a fantastic episode of baiting Liam. This is great.
I'm fully hooked because you guys
what a great podcast.
I want a podcast with morons. That's what's going on.
And in Mr. PT's last appearance on 0 to 60.
I've got to fight back somehow.
Yeah, it's fair. We've got to take it as well as we give it. So obviously that happened, but we also got one of the bans that you suspensions that you predicted. It was restricted ban at the time, and obviously Skeletor's now suspended until this disappears. You called it.
You did. Got to give you that one.
It's fucking broken. It is absolutely busted, and I'm glad it's gone. Really am.
How much impact do you think that's going to have on this? Because obviously it takes the sting out of Sonata.
But it takes the whole concept of OTK Viscerai away. Like now they have to do it with
The old way.
The old way of Slogism Arcanite Ascendancy, and you have to be able to pitch for the Slogism. So like if you see the turn coming, you can make them block, they'll never be able to play the Slogism because they can't reduce the cost of Slogism anymore. So it's the old school way. It's probably shit because there's a reason why they didn't play it anymore. No. So it's just a very good aggro deck now.
Do you think? Yeah. I mean, we've also got Seeds moving from suspended to banned until Chain goes.
I think it's fair, right? Like people think it's a really bad thing. I don't think it is. I think Chain's concept made Seeds broken, not Seeds was actually a busted card.
Yeah, I mean, it's really going to be hard to say whether that's going to be a problem again until we see the next Shadow Runeblade.
Yeah.
If they don't banish as much, then it's not a problem. If they don't have just as much go again, it's probably not a problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, they can always resuspend it again anyway in the future. So they could even change it.
A different hero power makes it so much less egregious because you used to be able to race them. It was just they always turned on stuff like, and I mean they didn't have Rosetta then though.
It turned on even stuff like Nebula Blade, right?
Yeah.
It's just impactful stuff like that. It was never worth face value. It was always worth more.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But so I think the main thing is obviously we've got the PT, we've got the calling coming up in less than a fortnight now. Really, well, no, just over.
Fortnight tomorrow.
That's
madness.
So what do you think the meta is going to look like following these bans? Because we did our little fancy meta predictor table, which I'm sure we can share with folks. But
I mean, you two can go for it first if you want, and then I'll go over what I ended up with on the table.
Sure. I mean, I personally don't see how these. I don't think these bans are impactful enough to Starvo to knock him off the top for me. I mean, that probably means that the meta stays somewhat similar. We end up with Starvo at the top, keep Prism there to try and counter him. I don't think Autumn's touch is going to come away from taking him away from make the Prism into Starvo matchup any better. I just doesn't seem hugely impactful. Acro decks, I guess, have a slightly better time into Starvo just because you don't have Awakening as a catch up. You get ahead, you might actually have a chance of staying ahead. Viz probably loses a bit of ground. Still a fantastic aggro deck. So we'll probably just do well into Prism, just not so much into Oldhim, but I don't see Oldhim coming back with Prism around. So I don't think we're going to see wholesale changes, to be honest.
I think
maybe a few small shifts around.
For me, I completely agree around the Autumn's touch. Like I said before, I think it feels like they've tried to do something without actually doing enough to detract from Starvo so he doesn't LL out. I think Skeletor might have a bit more of an impact if this is... I'm not sure if this is still the best Runeblade. I think that's where I think you might get, whether it's Chain is a bit more aggressive, obviously with his ability to banish and then play from there, or if Briar comes back in Cheerio's form, which kept Prism out the meta for a long time. Obviously, that was before the Blue Auras, but I think there might be a small change there. I still think it'll be Starvo, Prism, and a Runeblade. It's just, for me, which Runeblade.
Yeah, I must admit, I agree. I don't necessarily think Skeletor is gonna really. I think it will impact Viz. I'm just not sure it really helps much of the matchups that he's playing. Into the top of the meta. He's still a good aggro into Starvo. He's still going to be good into Prism. I mean, it helps with Oldhim, but just is Oldhim going to be viable? Or Prism has all the auras and Luminaris?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Go on then, Liam. You are Mr. PT. You know better than us.
Tell us the answers.
For God's sake, okay. I think Starvo remains one, both with control and aggro. I think aggro Captain Planet is just an extremely powerful deck because of the high roll strategy around the whole deck building process. I think control's a very viable option, as someone like Michael Hampton proved in the American Calling, being able to just survive the onslaught of auras versus Prism, fatigue checks like Chain, and still have an aggro package to win the matchups where you need to go quick. It's lost Awakening, but can still, like, Spinal Crush, Crippling Crush, Alkanolds, all represent really powerful on-hit effects. I think I got Prism to second yesterday on my sheet, but I think Prism was second because her matchups were very, very polarizing. Like, we had Dorian there, the Azalea was on there, because we had every hero on that sheet, right? And the Guardian matchups are very polarizing. So I think she's actually presented better than she actually is. If Guardian don't turn up, then Prism isn't good. Then we had Vis at third, which was not surprising because the aggro deck is very powerful, but it does lose a lot in ability to race because you've took the block away from him. Like, taking 2 chunk block away, whereas now he has to give up what Tunic to be able to... It loses his resource kind of thing, prevent getting these resources through. So I think decks like Lightning Lexi, for example, has a better chance now because he can't block as easily. So all your on hits are very scary. And then obviously I had Briar followed by Chain. I've got Chain at 5th because I think Chain's very counterable. I think he can just fatigue Chain. I think decks that don't normally fatigue can still fatigue Chain, something that wouldn't normally take that plan. So yeah, that's I'm not going any further than that. I think that's sums up the top 5 heroes, right?
I mean, how many different heroes have you decked out Chain with against when Leicester was playing it?
2 Guardians. No, 3 Guardians. I've done it with Ninja.
Dash?
I think I've done it once with Dash, which was absolutely insane. So like 5.
Yeah, so it's like, I think that's what I mean. I think Chain can be counted if you have got enough 3 blocks to be able to go into that more fatigue style matchup. I say it's just, for me, the only thing is if the hit to Skeletor means that, without the 2 block, without that huge explosive turn off Sonata to get that OTK and race, do they still... Are people going to be persuaded to go back to sort of Cheerios, Briar, or look back at Chain and try and just race that way because they've got access to Husk?
I think Chain definitely went up. It didn't in my expectation because the way I perceived the deck, it's just my personal opinion. But I think a lot of people think that Chain is way better now because it's kind of like the triangle of Prism keeps the Guardians at bay. So Chain doesn't get fatigued by the main decks that will fatigue it. Then Chain's got really good matchups into other stuff, like Prism, like Briar.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be interesting. I don't expect a huge wholesale change out of the usual triumvirate. It's just which for me. I mean, there were some bits in our favourite floor mat Blitz as well.
I mean, you're Mr. Skirmish, right? So give us the lowdown.
Yeah, exactly. How does it affect the skirmish? Yeah, the Blitz meta. Mr. Skirmish.
Give us your Blitz expertise, or sensei you.
I mean, one, Viscerize gone. It LL'd out, which completely caught me by surprise, by the way. Did not realise quite how many points it accumulated. Genuinely think that probably makes it slightly more fun. I hated playing Rune Blades. But especially, well, obviously it was just Vis at the moment, but not having Vis there, I think, might actually make it slightly more fun to play. But
I've got to be honest. I think the banned and suspended that we're going to go over probably in a second is actually really positive for Blitz. I think they knocked it out of the park with this one. I think everything they've kind of put in there. I mean, I wasn't expecting a hit to Kano, but I don't think anyone can say that Kano wasn't incredibly strong and didn't lead some very unfun Blitz games.
I think losing Stir the Aether win for them to just do +3 into on top of a Aether Wildfire into shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, and losing Snapback as well, right? Yeah. I mean, that's it's 2 cards hit for them. I think that's huge, and just the ability to play stuff easily as an instant, particularly from hand, it's impactful. So I think it's positive changes for Blitz. I'm not sure it's gonna fix the format, but it's definitely a step in the right direction to what we were on about before.
Also losing Sonata as well.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely is a much more a feel good thing. But I think the 2 interesting ones. I mean, obviously, Awakening went the same as, which was probably more egregious in Blitz, finishing with Pulverized when you've fallen behind to actually hit them for more than they can block is ridiculous. But I think the 2 really interesting ones were losing Heart and Crossstrap and losing Stubby Hammerers. Because I don't know anyone. I remember when people were calling for Snapdragon Scalers to get banned back in Briar Day, saying it's a generic piece of equipment. But I mean, Heart and Crossstrap has always been like the go-to staple. Just reduce the cost by 2.
Yeah, it just seems like they're really trying to slow down the format, right? And this just such an explosive piece for any aggro deck. Just seems like that's what they're going for. I didn't see it coming, but I quite like it, to be honest.
And then Stubby Hammerers was, I think, probably the most interesting comments that they made.
Future-proofing.
It's future-proofing, which suggests that in Uprising, and I'll let Liam talk more about Uprising because I know how excited he is.
Hey.
Not more. Well, I think me and George are both excited as well. It's been a very good week for Fab. It suggests that there was, and I think we rightly called it, there was going to be some sort of OTK deck because we are getting, and again, Liam will give it the appropriate noise, we are getting a new ninja.
Yay! Finally!
So I think the fact there's a new ninja, giving them something like Stubby Hammerers, which suggests they're not going down the combo space, they're just going to have a lot of go again. Giving them that to then go and do nasty things is very interesting. So kind of a little bit of a hint towards the next set without giving you too much information. Don't know what you boys think, because like I say, I know Blitz is not particularly our gig. We're far more CC boys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can see why they changed Crossstrap. Makes sense. It's a very powerful card. Like, just 2 resources and stuff like... It's like when we were theorising, like when people saying Prism's bad in like Blitz, but then you can do combos like Dreamweavers into Heart and Cross Wrap into like Phantasmify Phantasmaclasm for like 14 off a 2 pitch, no fucking go like, and then like obviously in Brute, just reducing like Alpha Rampage to a 1-cost card, just bonkers.
Yeah, they're all, I think, very positive. Blitz got very, very positive changes, and I think outside of, I know James White said he liked the Blitz format. The amount of bans and changes here would suggest that they weren't actually as happy as they made out. And like I say, Stubby Hammers, especially because Stubby Hammers comes in when the new set comes out as well. The others are all from the 2nd of May, when the original announcement would have been out. So
there's a specific interaction that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
That would happen if they were available to use. It would be interesting to see if people can spot that interaction and go, that's why Stubby Hammers is banned.
And it's only banned in Blitz, so.
Yeah,
So,
there you go. CC Stubby Hammers. That's the plan, right?
Get them back. So, is there anything else on the ban's upcoming meta now that we've got some suspended, or?
Actually, I obviously haven't had this one isn't on the agenda, but just wondering for you guys. Obviously, we're now seeing the banned and suspended list as it is. Interesting to see that some cards have been banned and some suspended. Do we think now that Awakening and Heart and Cross Strap being banned are never going to come back, or the fact they haven't been suspended until, like, Awakening hasn't been suspended until Starbo's gone. Like you say, it was a fair card, in your opinion, at least in Oldham. Liam, interesting that they decided to ban rather than just suspend these.
Maybe it's more of a future proofing for
quite possibly.
Awakening, because Awakening probably limits your design on what you can actually build as a Guardian attack. Hence, Pulverize. Like I played Blitz and Awakening hit me for Awakening pulled Pulverize, and then he played a Pummel on top. So 18 -4 and discard a card in Blitz is quite fucking disgusting.
Oh yes.
Well, it's disgusting. Even CC, that's nearly half your health, and you've lost a card. And let's assume you've tried to block.
You've got -4 on your first attack. It's quite quite powerful. So maybe it's fine, right? I suppose it's sad to see it going Oldham because it wasn't obnoxious. It was literally just, let me pull my Ulkanold and take some tempo back and start applying pressure. But then Awakening was never good in Oldham. Sometimes it wasn't even played because you're not supposed to be behind. You're supposed to be blocking out anyway. So I don't know.
I personally like it being banned. I think, like I say, I think it limits a lot of design space. I think I don't like the idea that if a deck isn't quite doing what it should do, just because you draw on bad hands, you're not blocking particularly effectively. It's fine, you've still got a catch-up mechanic. Like, usually the catch-up mechanic is, I'm not going to block and I'm going to hit you harder, but you've got to take that damage in the first place. Like, this is just oh shit, I'm actually losing a bit, I'm just going to play this.
But yeah, sorry, it's slightly off topic. I mean, my point was more a case of, obviously on the old ban and restricted, they always said that ban cards would essentially be reviewed in the future and could come back. Yeah. That kind of clashes with the idea of suspended. I'm just wondering, do we think now that banned is gone forever, sort of thing, or do we actually think they're going to continue to review?
No, they'll definitely do it as a review. I think it is about, does this card cause problems for the game in the future? If it does, then they'll ban it. Like, Seeds is only a problem in Chain. That's why it's suspended until Chain fucks off. As an example.
Yeah.
Almost Touch is only a problem, air quotes, because Starvo's in the game. It's not a fucking problem. Anyway.
But it's like, I think you look at the list of cards that are banned. Drone of Brutality, they banned because it didn't fit within the thing because it was an infinitely recurring card.
Yeah, it's a fundamentally broken card,
then,
right? I mean,
Dustblade, # we made a mistake.
Yep.
Then we got Seeds, which is now suspended, so that comes off the list.
That's actually been moved to suspended now.
Yeah. I still didn't think it fit with restricted. It wasn't ever restricted either. It was just they only had that, which is why it's moved. Then it's obviously Plunder and Ball Lightning. I think Plunder Run, with some of the stuff they put into the game, just basically Runeblade ruins fun for everyone.
Like, Plunder and something that could come back as a red only. Ball of Lightning is something that could come back as a red only
Yeah,
in the future. I see that.
I can see that potentially. I think the reason they banned Ball Lightning was just the amount of judge questions they were getting because people don't understand it, and it was just creating the interactions would come in. Replacement of reflex before and choose a priority over other replacement effects kind of made a lot of and Sting being stupid.
That effect still exists though.
Oh no, it's still in Frazzle, right? We had that. I mean, we had that the other week when we were playing.
But yeah, no, I just thought it was an interesting thing that they've changed it, and some things moving from banned to suspended, and vice versa. But yeah,
we'll see more of that. Definitely see more of that.
Yeah, I think as the game progresses, the need for cards to be banned will change because it'll be on limiting design space in the future rather than just this is egregious, especially at the moment like Plunder Run. You can't say it's suspended until Spellbound Creepers isn't in the game, for example. That's probably a bit too specific, and Spellbound Creepers should always be in the game. This is banned until we ban another card. This is suspended until we ban Spellbound Creepers for being stupid.
Big fan of Spellbound. Anyway, yes.
Considering we said we're not going to do a Vexing Malice, there's a couple of spiky comments tonight.
Isn't there just?
So, I think it's probably about time we cover the other small topic we heard recently.
Oh yeah, the small bit of news.
I mean, it started off with the big news that we got Icelander's Journey, where she met the lovely Shiana on a little trip to Volcor, which is where we confirmed the new set was. So, George, you get the pat on the back for being correct.
Hey.
I enjoyed that article, by the way.
It was a really good lore article. Yeah.
I mean, they're all good lore articles, and the art as ever is phenomenal. A bit like the Morlock Hill and all the stuff like that. But everyone knows that. I've already changed my screensavers to the art from the articles recently. So I think, obviously, chaps will cover off the. Let's cover off the actual set first, then we'll do the cards. Make sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
So,
you're the boss.
Well, I'd like to think of myself as the co-boss of all three of us. We're all bosses here. So, Uprising. We're going to Volcor. We've got a wizard, which we already know because it's Icelander. She's back. She's no longer majestic. Lol.
She's grown up.
She's grown up from her young form to get another young form, or is it slightly older? And then we've got an adult form. We've got a new ninja, which we don't know what the talent is. It could be, we know that, and we've got our talent is Draconic. And it's attached to an illusionist. So, after all the jokes that, obviously, because Liam, you love illusionists so much, wouldn't it be funny if the dragons were attached to illusionists? And yes, they were.
It's been a bit of a roller coaster for you, hasn't it, Liam? You find out first of all that your absolute dream of having anything dragon adjacent and actual dragons in Flesh and Blood is real, and then you find out that it's so far at least all attached to an illusionist.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. It was so sad. It was so good. Like, I've just dreamt of finally getting a dragon in Fab. You all called me crazy when I was asking for it, by the way. I would like to quote that.
Yeah,
and I said that one day it will happen, and you were like, no, it's not. I went, just give me an ally. And they fucking gave me a dragon ally.
Well, they didn't give you one, they've given you three. We've got Dracona Optimi, we've got Domina and Tumeltai. I'm probably butchered all the pronunciations, but yeah.
Can't fucking wait. I mean, but going back to the illusionist point, yes, I mean, I don't hate illusionist, I hate Prism, specifically. And that's more related to Luminaris. But that's I've had Van Vexen Malice. We're not going there. Stop trying to bait me. We're not doing it. Because I'm going to become... I mean, like, the whole set is just for me. This is like me going to LSS, saying, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then they just went, have this, have this, have this.
Way to disappoint our 5 listeners there now that Uprising Sodley is not for them. It's just for you, Liam.
It's just for you. All the boxes in my...
No one else has allowed it. It's going to be a really small world premiere.
Liam has already pre-ordered every box in Manchester. Channel Fireball sold out. Jester Game Store sold out. Everywhere online sold out because Liam wants all the dragons.
Liam's just sitting on all of it. That's
Especially after they announced that in the article, the dragons, it looks like, which are majestic, also have the alt arts. Which I have to say, look, yes, our new Marvels, our alts are at least one is a dragon. I assume the others will be as well.
Those full out Marvel rarity dragons, man. That's just you can't do that to me. Now I have to go and buy the fuckers.
What about if I say, imagine if they came in cold foil?
Oh, it's even better. Oh my god, it's too much.
Imagine the first armory kit and they come out and they're the cold foils. You're going to be playing the sweatiest decks to win those buggers.
I'm going to be rule sharking everyone.
It'll be bribing people. It'll just be across the table. Just so you know, I have a lot of spare money.
I've got spare cards. I've got spare money. Which one interests you more?
Would you like to block this attack? But before you think about your block, I have a lot of spare money.
Yeah. Now, the next attack you may want to block, but this £5 note says otherwise. He'll spend his fiver to turn up to an army and he'll come out for 60 quid down.
That's all right, though, because he'll be one step closer to winning his dragon.
With 3 Marvel dragons.
But yeah, we got some Marvel Dragons. We got all the dates. So preview season starts on the 4th. We get some world premiere events. Vegas, Madrid and Sydney, all the 10th to the 12th of June.
I was going to say, sadly, that is the 4th of June, though, for the spoilers. So it is a bit of a long wait.
It is a bit of a wait.
It's good that we're busy in between, right?
Yeah, we've just got the calling, haven't we? So that'll be fun. And Mr. PT's obviously got...
No, he's got nothing. I'm sure there's anything going on for him.
We get pre-release events the weekend after, June 18th to 19th, with the release date of the 24th of June. So that's all the boring shit that they put on the article.
Pre-release is going to be nuts, but I love pre-release weekend. It's some of the best weekends in Fab.
They're great.
When we did the what would have been the quadruple header until one of them got cancelled, the triple header of Lazy Dragon. Imagine if Lazy Dragon's first and you pull a Marvel Dragon at Lazy Dragon.
Oh.
It's meant to be.
It has to be, man. I have to pull a Marvel. I went after Cold Fold double-sided Starvo. I didn't pull it. I watched someone pull it right in front of me. But
this time you get to watch Brooks. You get to watch Brooks pull it right in front of you at Lazy Dragon.
Oh, for those who aren't going to have access to this video, I think Liam's soul just died a little bit. We'd do what we usually do. We'd sort you out.
I know you would.
Yeah, I must admit, I couldn't knowingly keep one of those Marvel dragon cards sat in my binder, knowing quite how much you'd want it. I couldn't do it to him.
Sit on it like Smaug, like a big pile of gold.
But that would be horrible.
I'd bring it along to every armour and show it to him before a game to throw him. It'd be great.
So, I mean, we should, at some point, maybe in the next 10 minutes, find out a little bit more about the world premiere in Las Vegas. But that will be a live reaction, should we get it. But we also got a couple of articles. We got the Uprising one, we got the In Flames lore article, and we got a couple of days of spoilers from Icelander. So, in general, we've got Draconic and Ice. What's the thoughts on Uprising before we go into the cards specifically?
Well, people are thinking something related to like Phoenix, right? Because one of the arts on the article is raised from the ashes or something.
Yeah, from the ashes. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of Phoenix stuff. Fi the ninja has.
I don't know how you put that into a talent. I mean, like I know dragon into draconic makes sense. I don't know. Is there a word that's like Phoenix related?
Well, you can just have. I'm sure the creatives at LSS. It could be Arisen. It could be. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. It's not going to be fire, right? People have said that it shouldn't be fire. I think that's the wrong choice.
No, I think that's just too close to elemental. On the whole, it would make it seem like an elemental talent, which just doesn't fit.
No, I think there'll be some word or something they can use which is Phoenix related, or something about a rising or ash based or something like that. Because a lot of it, even the card packs which they've got for the boosters, looks like a dragon versus a phoenix, and it kind of, the whole story seems to be, you've got the ruling Drakai, who are the sort of dragon folk, where our new hero, who I'm going to have to play because it's a female, whose name starts with the letter D, Dromai, is, and then this Fi, who's the ninja, is like the leader of the Uprising, hence the name.
Just so that's sounds as weird as can be as your reasoning for having to play her. Brooks here is so far as a regular on Dory and Dash, and it's got very much a bit of a theme running. So
Dory, Dash, and as I think Charlie was joking earlier, I am going to have to play Dromai, and it's true because I have actually got all the prison cards as well, so I've got all the illusionist stuff. So I haven't even got an excuse. But yeah. I think I think there might be another talent. It makes more sense for the sealed draft experience as well, I think.
Yeah, I think we could well see 3 separate talents. It would make a lot of sense. As much as I'm sure Liam will be disappointed that it's not a draconic ninja.
That would have been too perfect. I think that would have been like, I don't think I ever could have bought any other set of Fab if that was true.
If it turns out to be a draconic ninja, he's going to be checking his house for bugs later, just in case they're listening in.
No, because then I'll know. Then I'll give them all the good ideas, and then Fab will be great ever. Like, it'll be fine.
Wait, so it means they'll ban Luminaris?
Exactly. Exactly.
But no, it seems like a great set of talents. It looks like a really exciting set. I'm actually very hyped for this one.
Yeah, and I think how they've spoiled some of the cards. Well, revealed some of the cards. Spoiled sounds bad, but is really good. I think how they've shown the Marvel card face of the Dracona Optimi is really cool. And yeah, I'm really, really hyped for it. It's why there's no vexing malice. We're so happy.
I would like to say this is a nice change because I was hyped for Everfest, even though used to kind of wasn't. So it's nice to see you actually looking forward to the next set, not just because it's draftable.
I'm sticking to my analysis of Everfest, and as I normally point out after an armory, I do not want disappointment in my packs, so I normally go for a different prize pack.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm very much looking forward to. It looks fantastic, even if some of the ice cards are stupid.
And I think that's probably the unless anyone's got anything else to say, we can jump into some of the cards that got spoiled for Icelander.
Sounds good.
So we got a load of lore, which I thought was really cool, sort of going into more about what was going on in Volcor, along with the In Flames article. And then we got 4 days of spoilers. Is it 4?
Yeah, it was 4 days. 3 on the first day, and then every other day, 2 days.
So we got a new Icelander. We got our adult, which is Icelander Stormbind. Art looks phenomenal as ever. Like for any Frozen fans out there, like Elsa on steroids. Yeah, very happy with that. And then day 1, we got Channel the Bleak Expanse, which is a blue 1 cost, go again, ice action aura, basics like the channels, which heroes can't reveal, search decks, or draw cards from effects. Bye-bye Mask, and bye-bye Katsu.
I mean, there's quite a lot of bye-byes in that. It works both ways, so the playing hero can also do the searching and revealing and the drawing of cards, but I suppose you just don't play it in a deck. Like Mr. DD Lexi over here is not going to put it in his own deck and shut his own deck down.
I mean, if only we had some incredibly boring old man in the game that liked to just swing his hammer every turn. I'm sure some sad bugger like that would play it.
With it, yeah, especially since he likes to play just picture blue ice card to swing his boring hammer.
Exactly. So now, instead, when he happens to have more than 1 card in his hand on the end of by his turn, he can instead play out, channel the fucking bleak experience of playing Fab, and then and then swing his ice hammer.
Yeah, because you'll have channel the bleak expanse, channel like frigid, and basically make it boring.
Channel no fucking fun.
Hey, that's definitely subjective because if I'm putting you through pain, I am smiling.
Yes,
sure. You might not be smiling when I'm finished, but yeah, you're smiling. Great. No one knows this.
I am. It's fine. As long as I'm having fun, that's all that matters, George.
Well, yeah.
Oh, well,
Stop trying to be selfish.
I say there's a lot of heroes. It feels like that's just an anti-Starvo card, but he'll have gone by then because he'll have PQ season.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of this one. I don't like it, and not just because it really screws over what I'm trying to do. I just don't like effects that say can't. I think I was saying to you before, Liam, on this one. I personally wouldn't mind if this said you have to pay one to do it, or there was some other sort of effect. I just think it's dangerous to print effects that say you cannot. And when this screws over, not just like all the TOA heroes that want to be revealing for fusing and a whole mechanic out of that, it also screws over completely, as we said before. Katsu's now just blank. He can't go searching. And can't be drawing cards off mask.
Katsu really has been booted the last few sets. He's had a torrid time of it.
He got a real kick, didn't he, this time? I mean, he's hoping the Ninja cards are good, because Ninja needs something.
Well, based on the Stubby Hammerers thing, maybe it's not combo based, but yeah, they definitely need a little bit of love. But
yes.
We then got Encase, red, 0 cost, Ice Fuse, Elemental Wizard action that does block for 3. So deal 3 arcane damage to any target. If Encase was fused and deals damage to a hero, freeze that hero and all equipment that you control until the next turn. And we found out a frozen object can't be played or activated.
It's an interesting one.
We've got Freeze Mage. It's Hearthstone.
And as long as they don't print fucking Ice Block, then I'm alright.
But yeah, Freeze is an interesting one.
Yeah, I like it. Seems great. It's really interesting. You know, a nice mechanic, turning off equipment and stuff like that. It's It seems
and I've seen the question
useful.
bandied about weapons are not equipment.
No,
equipment
they never were.
Never were. They are weapons. Weapon designated at the bottom. It's not equipment. Weapon.
Armor shield, right? Armor shield. That's equipment. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no shields and no blocking or using your equipment because it can't be activated. And really cool art on that as well. And then we got Ice Bolt, which is our first common. So I assume it comes in the full rainbow. 2 cost blue was what they showed us, which is deal 3 arcane damage to any target.
Yeah, I mean it's nice. It's just bolt though, right? But with an ice theme.
It blocks 3. The thing that is cool is because it's any target, it will be able to target dragon allies. But we'll get to that.
Unfortunately,
it does. But then, strangely enough, the only dragon ally we've seen so far has 6 health, and this only deals 5 at red, which is interesting. I'd have thought they might have bumped it to 6 just so it could kill a dragon. But
you can play Crucible and put it to 6.
That's true, I suppose. Yeah. Maybe we'll have a new staff as well that'll buff arcane.
But I'd appreciate it if you left my dragons alone. That'd be great.
Well, I don't know. I wonder if Icelander will get a new weapon because her signature weapon is the Kraken and the Zeta Vein, according to the article we got from Fab 2.0.
Well, she needs a token weapon regardless for the draft experience.
She will, yeah, and it would be strange to make what is an M already in Everfest. Plus, also she's pictured with a new weapon in her art.
Yeah, that's true. So she might have 2 majestic weapons.
Well, there's got to be at least one that's a token, right? But yeah. I mean, they might well put a majestic in the set as well.
Yeah. So we've got Ice Bolt, and that also blocks 3. So it's nice to see some. I think they're showing the blues because obviously Icelander's ability means you can play that instant at your arsenal.
You know, pretty much every wizard card blocks 3, right?
I know, but I always just assume they don't because they never block. They just sit there and wait until I've run out of cards and then just kill me. So I never actually see them block. I just die.
Now we get to the exciting stuff.
Then we got to day 2, and we got Ice Eternal, which is blue XX. Again, blocks 3. Rare, but it's a specialization. So I assume that's going to appear in. In fact, I'd say it's in the Blitz decks, but we also found out there isn't an Icelander Blitz deck as it stands.
Yeah, doesn't seem like it, which is interesting.
Which makes it interesting that this is rare, but hey ho. Ice Fusion creates X Frostbite tokens under target hero's control. Then, if Ice Eternal was fused, deal arcane damage to that hero equal to the number of Frostbites they control.
Pretty good card.
Yeah. I mean, does arcane gives them a lot of Frostbites. Seems pretty damn good. Particularly with something we'll come to later.
I think the maximum you could probably do, I think someone said, was 5 frostbites. If you got 3 blues, tunic counter, because obviously you have to hold an ice to fuse it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'd be the max. Max be 5, but dealing 5 arcane and
Isn't X just 2?
No, it's double. So if they want to create 5, you'd have to pitch 10.
So you can pitch 12.
No, because you need to hold a card.
You need to hold a blue. You'd have to hold the ice.
Oh, you'd have to fuse it.
Yeah.
Of course, you would. Yeah.
If you want to deal the arcane anyway.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to create, 5 frostbite, which basically shuts off their turn, and might be useful considering some cards we'll talk about in a minute, and deal 5 arcane. I think that's pretty damn good.
But as you point about it being rare, actually, I suppose what this might be is just that because this one is rare, the other ones may well be rare, which probably will appear in the Blitz decks for the other heroes.
Yeah,
we'll probably see their specs as well.
Yeah, I presume this is the equivalent of Soul Reaping and Soul Harvest, right?
Soul Reaping, Soul Harvest via the Vanguard
and Judgment.
And it'd be nice to actually see those appear in the Blitz decks, because I mean the TOA Blitz decks, right? The specs actually weren't in there, which is
I thought they were.
Were they? Are they actually in there?
Yeah, that's why they were rare.
Yeah, there's only one copy, though. That's why, because they're limited to one, right?
But they weren't rare in TOA. They were Majestics.
No, they weren't.
Soul Reaping's
Soul Reaping and Soul Harvest are rare.
But none of those are from TOA.
Oh, sorry, TOA. Yeah. I don't think
we're not even listening to him. It's fine.
Yeah.
I know. Just ignore what I said. It's if only this conversation was recorded.
Yeah. Oh, we don't record these.
You record these?
I mean, I don't know. I was hoping somebody else did.
Sure. Sorry, I'll just edit that bit out. Sorry. And we got Icebind on day 2 as well. 0 cost blue, elemental wizard. Ice Fusion, deal 1 arcane damage to any target, so would go quite nicely with the red Ice Bolt if you wanted to try and kill something. If Icebind was fused and deals damage to a hero, freeze a card in their arsenal until the start of your next turn. And again, frozen object can't be played or activated.
I do like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting card. I mean, it also just seems like it's a better zap, right? It's just a zap with an optional effect. Wizard, so 0 cost, dealing 3 to 1 arcane, because it will come in a full cycle, at least we presume.
Yeah, it's common, so I assume it's going to come in, do up to 3.
Look at this guy, he's played 2 armies of Kano and thinks he's Harry Potter.
just because you don't know any of the cards.
That really tickled me. It shouldn't have done. It's funny. It looks more like Hagrid. With the beard and that.
It would be more accurate, to be fair, for my Kano experience, getting expelled instead. Not knowing much in the way of magic.
And it also sort of I probably shouldn't have said that. It's probably summed up this podcast, to be honest.
Probably, yeah.
We're on so many of LSS's.
Got expelled from learning magic and instead went and been a ranger and lived in the woods.
Oh dear. But yeah, day 2 is an interesting one. I quite liked both. I think liked Ice Eternal and Icebind. But day 3 brought us another 2 M's, which was cool. Except for I really, really don't want to see one of them played against me ever.
Not sure I want either, to be perfectly honest. They're both pretty scary.
Yeah, so we got our first new card type that we've not had before, which is an Affliction Aura. The first one was Frost Hex, 3 cost blue, Icelander spec. Frostbites you control have, at the beginning of your end phase, this deals 1 arcane damage to you. The most notable thing, there is no way for this to disappear on its own.
Yeah, scary prospect, particularly given that it's not limited to 1 per deck.
Nope.
You could see 3 of them stacked up on your side, and I mean, particularly at the time that we were seeing this, we were wondering if there was any way to remove these at all.
But for the average hero as it stands, no, there isn't.
No.
So you could be looking at a Icelander. You end up with 3 Frost Hexes on your side of the board, played at instant speed out of Arsenal.
Because these are all blue.
By themselves, creating a Frostbite. So that's deal 1. Basically, all your Frostbites turn into
1 arcane.
Rune Chance, which is lovely.
per hex.
per one, and especially when you combine that with if something like Ice Eternal, when all three are there, yeah, that's not a world I want to be in.
It is worth pointing out though as well. This is only if the frostbites are there at the end of your turn. So if you break them, they do not inflict any arcane damage. It's just if they're still there at the end. But I mean, if only Icelander could give you frostbites at instant speed, like a wizard might.
Well, you might. Shockingly, with Icelander's ability, she would be able to play out all of these. One per turn, and then play Ice Eternal on your turn at instant speed, which would assume if there were 3 frost hexes and you did the max and you did 10, that would be 5 frostbites and 5 arcane from Eternal. And each of those 5 would deal 3 at the end of your. If it's at the end of your turn, there's nothing you can do, which would be 15. So that'd be taking 20 damage. Yeah, not a fan of that.
Definitely a fan of that.
Yeah, it's got you written all over it. But that, and I really like the art as well. I'd love a little. I hope there's like a frost hex token. Just a nice piece of art that you can slap on someone rather than the card. And then we also got Hypothermia, which is another affliction aura. 0 cost blue again, so Icelander can throw it at you at instant speed and give you a frostbite. Attacks you control can't gain go again. This does not affect attacks that naturally have go again. But at the beginning of your end phase, destroy Hypothermia.
This one just makes me feel sad for Katsu again.
Katsu, your Lexi deck does not approve.
I mean, sure, I can't flip stuff in Arsenal for go again. That is sad. But for Katsu, not being able to complete a combo line because they can't gain go again.
My Dory deck is not particularly pleased.
No, that's true. I mean, at least you can front pump one swing, though, right? I mean, that's.
I can front and backload it. It's just I can't swing the second time. So I have to get a counter.
You can't get the second. Yeah, you can't get the second swing.
Dash hates this.
Yeah, for certain. Dash definitely hates this. One attack, don't matter if you boost or not, just a pistol. I mean, the only nice thing about this is the aura itself doesn't have go against. This does feel very much like an Icelander card.
Yeah,
it's only an Icelander card. I think. I don't think you can see if Olden plays this, and I want to know what that Olden plays on because that's some maniac stuff.
I mean, this one does actually block for 2 as well. So I mean, it is a nice action rather than nice wizard action like the other. But I think if you're looking at a world where you've got Hypothermia and a Bleak Expanse, your turns are going to feel really, really shit to actually just look at.
And Frost Hexes just stacking up all the frostbites and shit. Oh, it's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun.
I mean, people die to blood debt, and people die to people having so many frostbites that they can't play things out from their blood debt and die from that. I know Adams, your accountant, has felt that pain on a couple of occasions, and that's not something I'm particularly wanting to feel. Just taking Arcane as well. Oh, God, imagine Arcane and Blood Debt at the same time. You're going to feel shit. But there was some brief respite on day 4. We got Cold Snap, blue 1 cost ice action that blocks for 2. Target hero may pay 1. If they don't, freeze a card in their arsenal or an ally they control until the start of your next turn. If Cold Snap is played from your arsenal, draw a card.
I like this.
Very much the Electrify kind of feel.
I like all the Electrify, Polar Blast, draw a card from arsenal costing 1 interaction cards, to be honest.
Yeah, these 1 cost ones are really nice, and this is a new spin on it, which is quite nice.
And this was kind of really the first time we'd confirmed allies were going to be in. Because it was freeze a card in their arsenal or an ally, and I think Howard just mentioned that specifically. They probably weren't just talking about Ursa and Blasphemet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have been oddly specific to put in this set when they've not been around for some time.
And I have to say the art on Cold Snap is phenomenal.
So much of the art this set actually is spectacular, and I think the next card is one that's got some beautiful artwork.
I think, like I say, I think as soon as you start doing Ice and Fire, you get this really, really nice contrast. Yeah. But this was where we found out our new talent. There was some wondering at the time whether it was going to be a class on its own, but obviously it wasn't. And we got a card called Thor, which is THAW, not Thor Love and Thunder kind of Thor. Red 2-cost. While Thor is in your red 2-cost Draconic action attack, which attacks for 6, blocks for 2. While Thor is in your graveyard, at the start of your turn, you may banish it and choose one. Destroy target Frostbite, destroy target Ice Affliction, unfreeze target frozen card. And again, you've got this big ice woman and what looks like a phoenix, which again kind of went into what we were saying before, but
I'm not sure what it's supposed to be be fair, but a beautiful card. I really like this one.
I love the design on it, actually, to be fair. Not like art, I love the art, but I mean, being able to just play this out and have that option just sat in your graveyard to counter stuff like afflictions. I think the design on it's really good.
Yeah, I think obviously, I mean, one, it gives, it's our first proper attack, and I like the idea that actually something can be sat in your graveyard and can still be impactful. We've only really seen that in Brute before, where they're banishing for Shadow Brute.
I mean, it's just like not really design space we've ever seen, right? With the constant effect that's in your graveyard, that can always be triggered. It's interesting design space to explore. I like it, and particularly to have that ability that, like you say, just at the start of your turn, seems fantastic. It's nice that they've made it a little bit more varied as well. That it's not just a way to get rid of ice afflictions. The Frostbite could be key in matchups that aren't just from this set. So
yeah, and the fact it's an M as well means, obviously you're only going to be able to run 3 of those in the same way. You can only really get 3 Frost Hexes because that's an M as well. So you're not going to get in the full colour runs.
I mean, how disappointed are you going to be in draft when you give somebody a Frost Hex? The only one you've got because you've opened it, and then somebody thaws it. That's going to be incredibly disappointing moment.
It's that moment when you've got the Frost Hex and they attack you with Thor and know it's going in your graveyard and you just go, for fuck's sake!
Yeah, I was playing this game.
It's like that one time when you're playing Briar in draft and go, do you know what? I've got this guy. I've absolutely nailed him. They turn over Heart of Ice and you go, you bastard! You've just ruined my game plan. But I really like the cards from day 4. And then day 5, we got our articles, which was really cool. And we got a couple of cards in Uprising, the Uprising article. So we found out about Dracona Optimi, which is a Draconic Illusionist Dragon ally. 6 attack, 6 health, Majestic, and also Marvel for the alt art. Whenever Dracona Optimi attacks a hero, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. He deals arcane damage equal to twice the number of red cards revealed this way to them or an ally they control. So there's going to be some dragon fights.
So fucking good.
I think the most interesting things just off the bat were, obviously we don't know how you summon this. The fact, some people are saying the fact it's got a rarity suggests it goes into your deck.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't actually a way that we know of yet to make the dragon actually attack.
Yeah, no, of course it doesn't have the attack kind of keywords, with a cost or whatever, like Ursa and Blasphemous do.
Yeah. So I think that leads into some way that our Draconic Illusionist might try and play in terms of
maybe it's like a weapon, kind of like Luminaris is like pitch yellow go again. Maybe if you control this weapon, your allies can attack or something. So something like it's not massively impactful, but gives you an option to.
Yeah, maybe it's Iris of Reality. It's Iris of Dragons. Pay 3. You can attack with a target ally. But I think it's a really interesting space to get more allies because obviously we've only had the 2 and you don't really see them that often, especially after Chain got Seeds banned. You don't really see Chain as much because you don't really get to the second stack anymore. And I think I've only ever seen Blasphemous hit the table twice. They weren't necessarily against me either.
I mean, I see Blasphemous all the time because I'm a Guardian player. I see Eclipse all the time because I'm a Guardian player.
Okay. Yeah. Am I not wrong here, guys? Is that not Ursa?
Yeah?
I thought Blasphemous was Levia's.
Yeah. I said both.
Okay.
I said Doomsday and
Fair enough.
Eclipse. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
On the discussion of chain though, that was all.
Yeah. He does have Ursa. You're right. Not Baphomet, but yeah, I think seeing more allies, I think, is going to be a good thing. And like I say, the art is absolutely phenomenal. We found out the 3 dragons, like I said, Dracona, Domina, and Tomel Tai. And it looks like, I think Dracona is the one that we're going to see a bit more of today for the
Las
New
Vegas.
Jersey,
The
Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
Mhm.
Domina is for
Sydney.
Sydney, and Tomel Tai looks like it's Madrid. So it looks like we're going to have to plan another trip, boys.
It is beginning to look that way, isn't it?
It's certainly looking that way.
Fucking yeah, I want an exclusive playmat and my exclusive sleeves.
Yeah, so it's Legendary Dragons of Volcor playmat exclusive to Uprising World Premiere events plus specific Legendary Dragons of Volcor Dragon Shield sleeves.
I can just sell all my playmats now because I only need fucking one. Let's be honest.
That's it. When are you ever going to play the non-fun one? That's
Mangle, Lord of Wind, all that shit. I'll sell it all. Just give me one. Just give me a dragon. That's all.
Just give you that big dragon just sat there. Plus, it's
all he ever wanted.
That is the one that is what you always wanted. To be fair, you have been pretty consistent in that, and I don't think we've seen any other cards yet.
No, nothing else yet. Just the Dragon Allies, the Icelander card, and the one lowly Draconic Thor, which is that's it.
Yeah, but I think it's given me a lot of hope for this set. I think the Icelander stuff suggests there might be some more control stuff, as in the game might actually slow down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously a lot of her card pool left to be seen, but she does seem to be favouring more into the ice control side of things than the explosive arcane. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how her card pool ends up shaking out and what the Icelander decks eventually look like.
And then, like I said, for the ninja, all we know is that it's a ninja. we don't know if it's the same talent or not. I'd put my if we were to do predictions, although we should probably get George to do it, since he was more right last time.
No, I'd say I'm retiring with a 100% record. That's,
you know, it's not 100%, mate. You said wizard, you said Volcor, you said wizard, but you also said warrior, assassin, and brute. So
okay, fair. I don't think I said brute.
It's written down. It's written down.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and listen to that. Yeah. Okay, that's a lie. I'm probably not, but
George,
don't pretend you don't fall asleep listening to your own voice on the podcast. We know what you do.
Yeah, don't listen to it, mate. I'm sorry, I don't. I'm not the one of the 4 people that listen to this.
Where's our 100 listens come through? Then I assumed it was you.
just me downloading it on many different accounts.
Yeah, I think the main topics of conversation that I've seen going around are we going to get another hero? So are we just going to get a bit like with TOA? Are we just going to get the 3? Which seems a little bit odd for Booster Draft to have 2, if we were to have, say, 2 Draconic and 1 Ice, just in terms of the pack construction. Or are we going to get so is there going to be a 4th hero, or are we going to get a 3rd talent? I think based on what we've seen, and I don't know why they haven't done an Icelander Blitz deck, I'm going to assume it's going to be a 3rd talent for Ninja.
Yeah, I think so. 3rd talent seems the correct decision.
Does seem like the most likely outcome at this stage.
Yeah. Well, like I say, if it's some sort of Phoenix thing, maybe they've got an ability to play combo cards out of the graveyard, or no, but then but they have to banish them, or you get an extra effective played out of banish or something like that. I think it would fit, but I'm just really excited to see some more, to be honest.
I've actually got a question before we wrap up.
Go on, then.
What do you think to the low 27 Majestic count? Because that's lower than normal, right?
It is, yes.
Yes, it's considerably low. So we've got 226 cards, which just seems low generally. Mm-hmm. 1 Fabled and 6 Legendaries. 27 Majestics, 51 Rares, 125 Commons, 16 Tokens, and a questionable number of marvels.
So what do you think to the low Majestic count?
I mean, it depends on the quality of the Majestics. Like, if it's the Majestics on the same level of Everfest, less of those the better. I don't want to see them. You can fuck your bingos and your fire breathings right off. Cash in. Don't even bring that shit. Sorry, cash out. I don't mind cash in. Fuck cash out off. Straight out the door. Less of that bollocks.
What about
Silver palms. That's legendary. That's even worse. That can piss off.
what about if it was stuff in something like the power of Gloomveil, power of Pulverize?
Yeah, I think if they're at that level, I don't mind there only being 27.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you'd love to see more but I think one of the things they're obviously looking at is that they mentioned it a few times in the articles, and the thing is that almost that wow moment of opening something. So I think pulling a Majestic or a Legendary, I still think from what they talk about the pull rates, I still think it's going to be similar pull rates. I think it's going to be like 6 or 8 a box.
So 6 normal, 2 foil is the usual.
Yeah, I still think we're going to end up somewhere like that. So I think it might be easier to collect. But obviously, we're going to be looking at Marvels, which are going to completely change this. And obviously, this is going to be one where we've got the different rarities of cold foils and rainbow foils as well. So I think so I'm not too bad about the 27 Majestics actually going all the way back to the question.
What about you, George?
You see, now I'm looking at it. I'm thinking actually, how few Majestics is this? And actually, it's exactly the same number of Majestics that are in TOA.
Yeah.
And for reference, I did say TOA there, not Monarch. But yeah, it's I don't think it's actually as low as we feel like. So if it does end up being, which is very much looking like a three hero set, then that's probably about where we'd expect.
I mean,
it's probably not as low as we think.
So I assume the Fabled, God knows what they're going to do this year. We've had obviously landmarks. Imagine if we had like a dragon chamber, like a dragon nest, so you can get dragons.
Not a dragon-related Fabled. No,
that'd be another one you'd have to get, mate. That'd be it.
I mean, the 6 legendaries, if it's going to be similar to TOA, and
I mean, Monarch, TOA both had 6 Ls.
Yeah, 6 Ls is like the standard number now.
But I can imagine if it's 3 heroes, we'll get 1 legendary per talent.
So it'd be 1 draconic related, right?
Yeah, 1 per talent, 1 per.
Which is interesting because that means that your old man might get something
nice
he can use. Yeah.
He can get even more expensive.
Yeah, just in case there was maybe get some legendary boots, mate.
It won't be boots because I think it would just be because they've got Storm Striders for them.
Exactly. I think you'll get a wizard hat.
I think it's going to be wolves.
I think it'll be wizard. No, because they've got Metacarpus.
Yeah, Metacarpus doesn't actually fit Icelander.
It doesn't, but I think they've got because why would they ever give you something that overwrites a piece of equipment you've got? They've never done that before. Yeah,
but they don't play nodes. Like they only play nodes now because they've got no other option.
George like slowly seething.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there. I'm not biting. I'm not Liam.
But I think you'll get a wizard hat because that might be something you can like obviously lean into Kano, and which means that you've already got an ice chest. I don't think they'll replace that. So you might get ice gloves and you might get ice feet. That'd be my bet. 27 Majestics, so that's 9 per class potentially.
Yeah, you'd imagine there's got to be at least a few that are going to be generic, because I think this will be a set where we get a reasonable number of generics.
Well, I think that's 125 commons is a lot if we're not getting a generic set. Or maybe we just get but by generics, we actually talk about proper generics.
I mean real generics, because unlike the elemental stuff, there's not going to be that shared pool between all the classes like there was in TOA. So I think this will be a set where we get real generic cards, which is probably good news for every hero that's not in the set. So I think that'll obviously make up some number of the Majestics. Then obviously they'll be split out by talent and class.
And they've got 16 tokens, which seems like I wonder if we get any reprints. Like assume
Again, it actually seems reasonably standard. There was 18 in Monarch
Hmm.
and 14 in TOA.
Yeah, I just wouldn't have. I can imagine we'll get a Frostbite reprint.
Yeah, so we need to reprint Frostbite, right? Because it will need to be in there for draft. Trying to think. Obviously, then you've got all the heroes. So what? 3 heroes? 6 really, because adult and
But they'll be double
and
sided.
young heroes. Yeah, but all I mean, so they'll be counted separately for a token, right?
And then weapons.
Then each weapon.
Yeah, so that's already.
So that's another 3. So we're already talking 7, I think, out of the
9.
7.
So 3 young, 3 adult, 3 weapons, a frostbite.
Oh yeah, 9, so 10. So already on 10.
I can imagine there'll be some. I imagine we might get some token allies as well, a bit like Ursa and Blossom Network in Monarch.
Also, Spectral Shield may well make is likely to be in set with Illusionist being in set. So
I think it depends. I genuinely think that might depend.
Maybe, but I mean, even if there's one card for Illusionist in set that makes Spectral Shield, it'll need to be in there for a draft token. No,
that's fair. Yeah, I can't imagine that. I don't think Draconic Illusionist is going to really, at least for draft, they're not looking for that to lean the same way as like.
I'm kind of hoping that because I mean maybe it's just because it will look quite. I feel like it will look quite jarring, given the theme. But I'm hoping they really take Draconic Illusionist away from Spectral Shields in general.
I mean, I think there's an easy way of doing that, right? They just give them a new majestic weapon that makes far more sense than Luminaris.
I mean, they just change all their change their weapon, their token weapon and everything. Just lean it a bit away from using auras as weapons.
I mean, I know. Prism really uses her token weapon in Iris of Reality. So,
I mean, surely it's the best, right? I mean,
I've nearly been Spectral Shielded for 13.
It was so close. Liam's classic crippling crush Spectral Shield.
Oh, sorry, it was 11, wasn't it? And then you forgot you had to pay for Iris.
Yeah. Not all.
Double glisten.
Not all crippling crushes are for 13. It's what a crippling crush should be in for at 11.
So close.
Yeah, you were.
And then I mean, one small, but I think really real positive. If they stuck with doing the paper booster wrappers.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I don't think I heard anybody say anything negative about those.
I'm not the biggest environmentalist in the world, but I absolutely, as much as I hated opening Everfest, I loved opening it because the packs were so good.
Oh, the packs are amazing. They really are.
So I'm really,
as somebody who always sits at the draft fumbling for 5 minutes trying to open a pack, it felt good to be able to actually just open them easily.
Like I said, I didn't hear anyone say anything about damage or anything like that, so really pleased with that. And the pricing seems pretty good. MSRP $9.90, so $99.90.
That's about right.
Like
it's normal,
about $100 a box. So obviously that's not gone up, which considering the world at the moment.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Really, I think honestly, there's not really any negatives I can really pull out.
You should be looking at boxes
from all this.
Boxes should be between 100 and 80, really, because they say maps MSRP less 20%.
And it's nice that not to see him try and put a price increase now that they've changed the structure as well. Yeah. It's one thing I thought might happen now we've moved away from unlimited and first ed is they might go, okay, now there's these much rarer cards in there and everything else that they might try and whack a price increase on. But nice to see it hasn't happened.
Yeah, and I think there's some stuff in this I think is very pointed towards like Channel Fireball and the like, where also there was a lot of stuff around how cheap they were selling the boxes. But we're not kitchen table TCG, so we're not going to go into the market and all that sort of nonsense. We'll leave that to Louis. But like I say, I think $100 a box, 80 to 100. You know what you should be paying. If a store's overcharging you, so we'll see. Hopefully, your friendly local game stores are charging an adequate price to actually get players the new stuff. Well, I think, chaps, for an emergency, there's too much stuff to go on. We should probably cover this kind of episode, I think. I've not got much else to add outside of any final thoughts for Uprising. Any last bits of proper hype?
I'm going to be buying far too much of this shit.
Yeah, next time we see Liam, he's gonna come on the podcast. His video is just gonna be him sat on a chair of Uprising boxes.
I'm not. No, if I'm sat on a Marvel Dragon, I'm not doing that. I'll be surrounded by them.
I'd love it if you bought like 2 cases worth. You got all your 8 boxes, and the first one you open your Marvel Dragon and go, "Oh, I don't need the fucking rest. I've got what I wanted."
No, because I need all 3. I need all 3.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how rare the Marvels are, which is going to be interesting.
I
don't even
encourage
know
all
if there's
Manchester
other
locals.
dragons.
I encourage all locals to buy as many boxes as you can, just to try and get me a Marvel, and I'll buy it off you.
Mate, there's going to be none left. You're going to have all of them.
I'm not that rich.
Just because you're rich doesn't mean you're not going to buy them. You're in a mountain of debt, but you've got go into the bank and have a loan, please. Why? Because I really want the gold foil dragon.
This is where he's going to do it. He's going to buy all these boxes. He's going to get his Marvel Dracona, and then he's going to be like, "Where are all the others? I haven't found them," and then find out that they're not at Marvel Rarity with that card, with the full art card.
I'll be honest. I think all 3 of them will be.
I think they will be. Yeah, as well. To be
fair, like I said, I think the one for Madrid is probably the coolest looking one. So if we are going to make that trip over to the mainland, I think that's definitely going to be worth getting. Even if it's just to see this man's face when he gets it on a playmat.
Oh, that'd be quite something.
It's the small things in life. I tell you, it really is.
And unfortunately for our dear listeners, there's not the world premiere Las Vegas article is not actually up yet.
No, unfortunately, it's on US time by the looks of it, so it could be a few hours yet before it drops. It'll still be on today's date. Or yesterday now.
The us poor folks in the UK will have to wake up to it in the morning because I'm not doing another 3 a.m.
No, we've lost enough sleep with spoilers recently.
Yes, that's very true. Well, chaps, I don't think we've got anything to add. Any last thoughts from Uprising on you boys and what's coming up?
No, nothing on Uprising. Just next time you probably hear from us, we'll be prepping out to go to the Call in New Jersey, and in the Pro Tour New Jersey.
Yeah.
And, exciting times ahead.
Me and you are in the call in, mate. We're not Mr. P2.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll do security details. So if anyone wants any autographs, any photos with him, please speak to one of the security detail first. They'll arrange a slot at which he's free and
charges do apply.
Charges and fees are applicable.
And they say they choose your friends. What a load of shit.
Hey, me and George put our lives on the line for you every day when we test your food for you.
If that's not a friendship, what is it? Yeah, I mean...
Considering we've not been paid yet.
Exactly.
Adam, sort them out.
Have you paid Adam yet?
Adam, sort yourself out.
Oh dear, this has gone on far too long. Right,
it really
boys.
Has.
Thank you very much, as always, and for anyone who's still stuck around for this load of shite, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.